Welcome back to Straight Talk. So we left off with court jesters.
The court jesters. Did I say that?
You did.
Justice, court justice. We said what's court justice?
That's still going on?
Yeah. No, just like apparently it's a done deal. No, I would say it's not a done deal, but no, it's going on. A lot of those things, and call me whatever, man, but those are done deals as far as I am concerned. They're predetermined outcomes, whatever. Prove me wrong. The other thing that's going on, of course, is this the ongoing history of membership in Kahnawake. We won't even get into that. Okay, that'll go someplace fast too.
Well, we mentioned last time, you asked me to question would I watch it if it was on TV, and I didn't know at the time, but they're actually playing them on Channel 3 and Channel 4. And Channel 4 on the MCK days.
Yeah.
And I wasn't all that interested.
It's just a summary of what had taken place over all these years, and we talked about this earlier, and it's only like PowerPoint points that, obviously they can't talk about everything. I guess it's meant to entice people to talk more about it and to look for more information and to get that and give them, I guess, a brief history of what's transpired over the years.
But I heard at the Kahnawake Youth Forum that what's not shown on TV is the kind of the discussion that happens afterwards with the participants. So if someone wants to, I'm still not interested in really going. But
what would make people watch is to show when people were getting thrown out of town and their houses were being extricated by individuals and thrown out, and cars being tipped over, and police running all over.
74.
1973.
Yeah,
that would get people to watch.
Yeah, well, look, the thing too is I have no interest in watching it. Particularly, I think there's a level of saturation in the community. People, have already been asked, and the people have given their opinions about and information about what they know about what membership is all about in the community, and then the law was supposedly passed and released. And I can tell you, having sat there as a journalist in the council office, that when they finally put that law out, they looked at it and they fought inside that chamber, and they couldn't agree on whatever. So they put that law out and they just ran it up the flagpole. And they said, well, the only thing they could agree, we'll put an amending process thing in here. Okay, and people again, Mike Bush voted against it, I believe, voted against it because he said it was nothing but blood quantum in disguise. It got put out anyways. The whole thing about how the elders council was to be selected was a really non-process. And so they put it out there. It's the people's law. It's the people's law. And now we're back to square one.
You know what? One of the things that I talk about is Mike Bush always doesn't vote for something.
Now, in that case, he did vote though.
But vote against it.
Yeah.
Don't abstain. Say yes or no.
Yeah.
Pick a fence.
Yeah. No, I agree.
And then you hear that a lot, that he hasn't voted or go back. They abstain or go one way or the other. I'm not just them. I'm sure that the others do it too. But you always hear a lot about Mike Bush saying, voting. A lot of the things, though, is he the only opposition party that they have there? That he feels that it's not there, and why is it? Is it because his legal background that he doesn't want to get involved in it? Or does he know something that the rest of them don't know and they don't care?
Or does it point back?
Yeah,
I noticed. That it's a good point that you brought up, because I noticed in the article, front page article about Carl Horn, his name notably was in there as having abstained from the vote. And if you're elected to, if you believe in that, you're elected to office. You're not elected to abstain from votes.
Get off the fence,
or out of the water closet, or one of the.
Pick a side. Pick a side.
Anyways,
talking about
I think when
laws.
it's in before, I just wanted to mention, I think when it's a conflict of interest, obviously it's a like a reason to abstain. But when
You know
you're
what?
just like undecisive,
There shouldn't be that, because you shouldn't even be in that room. If it's a conflict and if it's something that's close to you, get out of the room and let everybody else conduct business.
Hey,
You know, don't say that I can't vote because of it. Stay home that day, or
I don't know,
go and do something else.
you have people on the council who sit on boards in the community, and they act as they don't know which hat they're wearing when they go to these boards, and they act in ways, and then they go and they mix the two and use that. Okay.
In this community, conflict of interest is alive and well. It'll always be, because in one sense, a lot of people are related, you know, or they have family ties to them, or how can you conduct business in that sense? You know, the police used to, not all of them, but some of them used to use that before. Well, I can't deal with this person because they're my first cousin, or it's my sister's nephew's uncle's brother's nephew. You know, I can't, you know what? Do your job. Simple as that, just do your job. The hell with this conflict of interest thing. You know, it's ridiculous. I can understand if you're making a decision specifically, you know, it's a financial decision or something like that, then, but how can you get away with it? Nepotism is always going to be there, regardless of the circumstances, whether it's your relative or whether it's somebody that you like or don't like. You're going to do what you're going to do. It ain't based on anything. It's based on your personal interests.
As you say, in Ganawagi, chances are somebody's going to be related to somebody, and I think that you can be involved, and you shouldn't, because maybe sometimes, whether you're a PK or whether you're a politician, okay, maybe you need to be there when it's your relative involved. Maybe you have a role to play, which isn't about nepotism. Maybe those things they can be mutually exclusive. They're not necessarily the same thing, okay? And then, as you said, we can't avoid the fact that this is not a community like Ottawa. This is not a community like Montreal or LaSalle. I mean, God knows what they politic about. But
And as much as they say there's no transparency, they like to use that buzzword. What's transparency? That's all crock. You know that there's other things that are going on behind closed doors that they're not transparent about. Anyway, the one of the other issues that we wanted to talk about is the vandalism that's going on in the community. I mean, there's always been vandalism in this community. There'll always be vandalism. There's always...
Well, that's beyond vandalism to theft.
Theft, I mean, there's theft all the time too. I mean, it's going in people's homes, and more so now. I guess people are being more vocal, and it's, you know, when they're doing it during the day, they're getting a little bolder. To me, I know too much about what goes on in this community,
three
or what has
robberies in
gone
the
in
last
this
2
community.
weeks.
So,
You know.
you know, is it more so because there's 2 or 3, and now they're complaining outside the police department of it? So now the police are saying that we want your assistance to do it. You know, it happens all the time. You know, unfortunately.
I think community members just need to be vigilant, and I don't even know why we have to say that. Like, it should be common sense. Like, lock your doors and your windows when you're not home.
You know what?
But I think because it's I don't want to say Ganawag is a small community, but I guess some people think it is, and that, you know, they feel safe here. But
you know what people always say, and it's strange, is that you know what, it's not like we're in another community. We don't have to lock our doors. You know, people aren't gonna. Don't be. Everybody's concerned about the person not from the community coming here to do something. You know, in a lot of the terms, in a lot of the situations that are going on, it's people from this community that are committing a lot of these crimes. You know.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah, you know, the thing, what you're saying, and maybe ultimately it's a reality for people, and I know that a lot of people now lock their doors. But when we were, like our generation, when we were growing up, it was more the norm that you didn't have to lock your door. You didn't have to lock your door. People weren't going to.
There was less people. There was less people. You know, and there was less people coming into the community. Also, you know, we have thousands of businesses in this community. We have tens of thousands of people not from this community that frequent the community for commerce or for work, and you know, not everybody is going to be how do you put it? You know, they're not going to to always be the best person or the best people. So there's criminals all over the world, and we have our share.
You know, one time, Ganawagi didn't need a community watch. I mean, the community was fairly watchful for one another. People knew who was, made a point of knowing who was around, who was doing what, and maybe that's changed, and the culture has changed. The culture has changed to where this is happening now. And as you say, it's not necessarily people come. We've had home invasions where people knew there was money, but on the whole, not. Anyways, it would appear that we're about run our course for this week, and we'll be watching for comment on the answers back page, I'm sure, but that's fine. But we'd also like the community to answer back and send in your comments to Straight Talk.
You know, the last time I said that you were going to put your emails up, and
You didn't.
for some reason it was forgotten. So if somebody wants to contact you, how do they do it, Ross?
You can contact me at rkm54@simpatico.ca.
And Jessica?
Jessica D at easterndoor.com.
And Michael Stock Sr. at hotmail.com. Or if you have any other questions and you want to send it directly to Mohawk TV, you can email us at mohawktv@hotmail.com or call us at 450-632-6397. Nyawa and Onigiwai.
Oh no.
Ona.